The call of the human voice, of the sound of the human voice. Not a horn, not a bell. The human voice, Call of humanity, Let no man determine or choose your Sabbath for you. To preserve the culture, It doesn't have to fall on a Christian say a Sunday and Seventh-day Adventist say Saturday. What culture are you preserving, Because you know that the weekend, they don't call it a weekend for nothing. It's called WEEK, but it's really the weekend, So you're preserving the culture by living in a manner, in a way that weakens you. It's sensationalism, riotous living, Like the prodigal son, in the Bible, English Bible. Culture is defined by the totality of what people thought and practice, When you make something you want to have preservatives in it, Dr. Seymour, the educator, says that the culture is dynamic, It got to, you got to take a very serious look at a culture when it becomes destructive, I mean, what culture are we preserving, Is it just on one day? Or it is every day? People call it freedom, like free your dome or something, But says you free, dummy. Freedom. Freedom. You go to the store, you look at a mannequin. A mannequin don't respond back, even a donkey, a donkey sometime may rise up. I guess I'm no farm boy, but it is the misuse of one's freedom, You acting like a dummy, Freedom, you're free, dummy. Yeah, acting like a fool, Freedom. You never seen a puppet talk back to a puppeteer? A puppet is using the strings of the is being pulled by the strings of the puppeteer, you freedom, you free, dummy, you free, freedom, freedom, a dummy is don't know how to reason, don't even know how to respond, cannot even act. I mean, he's like an inanimate object, you know. Very serious stuff going on, you know. We've been bombarded with sensationalism, you know. Always go back to that which affects the mind, conditions the mind. That's the nature of the mind. And Einstein said, you know, you can never solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that created. You're preserving the culture. What culture? Culture are you preserving? The weekend. The weakest part of the culture. The weekend. Not the strong point. I remember Don Vinny, brother, who made his transition, said that one time, probably about maybe 10, 12 years ago, talked about, you know, the weekend, you know. Oh, Don Vinny and Mr. You know, as Kwame Ture would say that death do us a disservice, you know. Wish old Vinny was still around, you know. Yeah, man. But needs to say, man, you know, physically and spiritually still around. Free your dome, you know. Free your mind. It's a heck of a thing when the weekend comes, you know. Let no man choose your Sabbath for you, you know. That's what the Bible says. I mean, that's what the English version of the Bible. Nobody. You preserve every day. You preserve the culture every day. It's not just on the weekend. You preserve it by being strong. You know, strengthening your restraint. You know, and that's a beautiful thing. You're not created for sport and play. I wish I would have known this man early on in my life. You know. Some regrets I do have, you know. Perception is not reality. It's on its way toward reality. You know, you have to come into peace and into, I would like to say, into complete civility. You know, I always say, what is the rift? The biggest rift, is it education? And when it comes to human relations, is it economics? Is it politics? Is it religion? Is it spirituality? What is the biggest rift? I mean, what is it that can bring closure, you know? I always say you can tell the psychology of one's mentality by what he or she produces, you know? Comes as ideology, becomes as reality, you know? It's reality. Psychology, his mentality becomes reality, and that's based on anthropology, how he or she interprets his or her reality, and that becomes his ideology. And then that becomes his philosophical view. Yeah. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. That's interesting. I'm gonna share something. Let's dig this. The lost pharaohs of Nubia. Even though people say pharaoh was it a title. This finding is rendered even more startling by the fact that the advanced political organization was not believed to have come to Nubia or anywhere south of Egypt for another 2,500 years. Transforming prehistory into history is always enormously complex task. I'm just follow. In Egypt, whose earliest written records reveal or rival those of ancient Mesopotamia. Just listen. I have to challenge that if you choose to. That's on you. The firm progression of contemporary records from pharaoh to pharaoh trails off rapidly into obscurity just before the beginning of the first dynasty. The establishment of this dynasty in about 3,200 to 3,150 BC, making the political unification of Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt believed to have been achieved by the first pharaoh of both lands, Aha, in a conquest virtually completed by his successor Namur. Much of the evidence for this period of the age of history stem from the great tombs dated to Aha and his successor in the first dynasty, Aha. So we just had a aha moment. Until next time, talk to you.